Welcome, everyone. This is Chris with the Chefs Without Restaurants podcast. And today I have Benjamin, who's a chef down in Dallas, Texas. Hey, good evening. How are you?
What's going on, man? Chef Benjamin, everybody. Certified private chef from Dallas, Texas. And man, we just going through the mix right now, getting everything together.
Yeah. Dallas, Texas is one of those places that seems to be doing some things a little different than everyone else in the country right now. You guys seem to be a little, I don't want to say ahead of the curve, but like you guys are starting to open things up, aren't you?
Yeah, so lately, man, they're trying to get everything open up back here. Texas is kind of going through just like every other state right now. It's slowly getting there, but we're trying to work on it. Like I said, all the restaurants, everybody's just doing like the little takeout menu. Like this pandemic has really caused like a big effect on everybody, like in the food and beverage business. So it's crazy.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. So you're now a private chef. What's your history and background in cooking? Have you been cooking since your whole career has started?
Pretty much. I actually just started being like, I really started taking, my craft and culinary serious roughly, I'm gonna estimate like 6 years ago. I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama. So, growing up down there, things were extremely difficult, being in the circumstances that I was in the community that I kind of grew up around. So I just found a passion for cooking. I think I was like 21, 22 at the time. And I got my first big chance. I actually started working, I was at like the Olive Garden. That was like one of like my first like semi-real kitchen jobs. And, I worked at Olive Garden for like a year, and I was like, you know what? I like cooking, but Olive Garden isn't like where I want to be at, permanently. So from Olive Garden, I went to Bonefish Grill in Montgomery, and that was like one of like the biggest restaurants that you could work at down there. And back in 2016, 2016, I got my first major break to get out of Alabama. I actually worked for Norwegian Cruise Line as a chef for them. So I was on a cruise ship in Hawaii for like 2 years of my life, and that was like the craziest experience I ever had. I loved working, in Hawaii, got the chance to see all the islands. After that, I actually got the chance to go to California and work in Death Valley at a 4-diamond resort. Worked out there for like 6 months. Dude, it was like 133 degrees out there. I was like, this is not for me in the summertime. Like, I could not do this. So this was actually last year. This was like when things really started, to really pop off for me. I was actually working for Gordon Ramsay at Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas. And that was like the ultimate like pinnacle that I could possibly think of reaching in culinary, like just working for him. Getting a chance to meet him and talk with him, and man, like Gordon was like my idol. Like, he still is like in the culinary business. Man, just to have that on my resume, that's like the coolest thing to me now. And like I said, especially now, I really been able just to really focus on, where I wanted to go after working for Hell's Kitchen. And I became a certified private chef. And now I'm in Dallas, Texas, and business is just going crazy out here.
Wow. So were you all self-taught and on-the-job training? Like, it sounds like you didn't really do culinary school. You just jumped right into working at, restaurants like Olive Garden and Bonefish. And then from there, you just jumped into the cruise thing and learned kind of on the job from there?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Actually, I went to culinary school. I actually graduated from Trinity Tech Community College in Montgomery, Alabama, from their culinary program. I did it for like 2 years. I was, when I was in Montgomery, things were kind of on and off for me at the time. So, I was trying to go to school full time and, find a way to get out of Montgomery. And it was so crazy, I'll never forget, like one of my instructors, they explained that to me. They were like, you got to understand what this culinary degree is going to do for you. And, like I said, at the time, man, I'm like 20, I was like 21, 22. And I was like, man, this ain't going to do nothing for me. And, it's so crazy, man. Like, I look back on life now and I'm like, man, like going to culinary school was like the greatest thing that happened to me, because like it really helped me change my life. Because like that's why I really found my real passion for cooking, after culinary school. So like I said, when Norwegian came into play, and I started seeing I was working at like Four Diamond Resorts, and man, working for Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, all this never would have happened, if I just never would have been like, you know what, culinary school is gonna be for me. Cause like I was never one of those type of people that was like big on college or anything like that, growing up. I was just like, I just knew I wanted to do something in life, that was gonna make a difference. But I guess cooking just so happened to be the passion, and that was just my calling, and man, it worked out for me.
Did you go from Alabama right to the cruise line? Is that how that went?
Yeah.
How'd you get,
Yeah,
how'd
so
you get there? Like, how were you in Alabama and then ended up on a cruise ship, like on the other side of the country?
that was that's one of the craziest stories, man. I never forget, man. I think I was still working at Bonefish, man. I think this was like 2 weeks. No, this was like 3 weeks before I was supposed to go to the cruise ship in Hawaii. So I drove from Montgomery, Alabama, all the way to Atlanta, and that's like a 2-hour drive, right? I didn't have no guarantee that I was gonna get the job. I didn't have no guarantee on what was gonna happen. I just knew I was gonna take a chance. So I found out Norwegian was doing like an open call for like, cruise line workers, to go work on the ships. I was like, all right, man, let me go try. Like, I get to live for free, I get to eat for free. Like, I'm in Hawaii, like it's gonna be awesome. So I literally, man, drive from Montgomery, Alabama, all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, right? It's like 100 other people up here in Culinary and all the other jobs that they have on the cruise ship trying to get a job. And it was only like, I think it was like 20, like 25 spots available. I was like, man, this is not going to work out for me. So, I went through the situation. I went up there, I met with the people, and, I just impressed them, with everything that I was saying to them, and, just explaining. So I get an email like 1 week later from Norwegian, and they're like, hey, Benjamin, we're seeing your resume, you're real good at the interview, like, we want to offer you the position. So I'm like, oh man, this is so crazy. So like, man, I'm gonna be in Hawaii. So I literally, man, I called my cousin in Atlanta, and I told him, I said, hey cousin, look, man, I just got this job offer, man, in Hawaii. Man, life about to go crazy, life about to change for me. So I never forget, this was like 3 days before, I pretty much quit Bonefish, because I was like, nothing to ruin this opportunity, man. I'm only making like 10, 11 bucks here. Like, I'm gonna go make some money. Dude, I literally, man, just packed all my stuff up. I closed my lease out that I had in my apartment in Montgomery, and man, I drove to Atlanta, and I left my car up there, and my cousin, he took me to the airport, and man, the rest was history.
Life was never the same after that, huh?
Life has never been the same.
And
after
you
that,
take
man.
those shots. I mean, so many people, I think, would say, I'm not driving 2 hours to go for this job interview for this thing, especially if you don't have a lot of money. If you're making $10 an hour or whatever in gas and having to drive up there, it's going to be 2 hours. That's each way, right? So you also have to get back. So
Exactly.
yeah, I love hearing those stories, because you just like invested in yourself and you said, I'm going to give it a shot. I got to do something. I want to make big moves. And you did. And it sounds like it worked out, and you're in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, man, dude. Like, that's always one of the craziest stories. Like, I always tell people, man, like, I look back on situations like that, because I didn't think at the time, man. You gotta remember, dude, you're being 21, 22 years old, growing up in a rough environment, and somebody tells you, hey, we're interested in you to go work in Hawaii. Like, for any kid that's like 21, 22 years old, it's gonna be mind blowing to you. So like, it was so mind blowing to me, and I never forget, like, the first day I got to Hawaii. So man, I'm literally, man, I'm over there in Maui, like on a Sunday, and I'm like, man, first, I never seen a beach like that before. I never seen the islands. I never seen the palm trees out there, dude. Hawaii is so mind blowing, man. Like, once you see it, like, I just always like look back and I'm like, man, this is the craziest thing that ever happened. And like I'm so glad that it did, because like, you know, working for Norwegian really helped me you know, achieve a lot more in culinary, man. So, you know, I've been able to just, you know, work at some of the top level restaurants, because, you know, a lot of people see that on my resume. They're like, man, you know, he was a chef on a cruise ship, you know, cooking for like 3,000 guests every night. You know, we're doing this like 5 or 6 months at a time throughout the year. So, you know, that's why with me, I feel like it's so easy now just for me to kind of get like any kind of job, you know, in the culinary field now, because like that's a lot of these people first reaction. You know, when I was, you know, doing like regular jobs, you know, they always say that like, man, I seen like you got Gordon Ramsay on here, man, you got Norwegian Cruise Line, like, dude, like we love to have you. And like I said, man, life just never been the same after that, man.
So now, are you exclusively working for yourself down in Dallas doing the private chef thing?
Yes, sir. So, man, it's so crazy, man. So originally, when I first got to Dallas, like I've only been in Dallas for like, I think it's like 2 or 3 months now. So a 90-day time span has gone so crazy for me. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around it as I explain it to you now. So originally, I actually had got a job offer at the Hilton down here in Dallas to be a chef for them. So, you know, I was working at the Hilton, man, for like, I don't know, like about a month and a half or whatever, until the whole shutdown came, you know, to the coronavirus started happening. And I was like, man, you know what? I know I could be doing better than this and making even more money, you know, because Dallas is such a business city, man. You know, we got the Cowboys out here, you got the Mavericks, man. You got like so many multimillionaires that live out here. Like these people love to have like a private chef or something like that. And that was so crazy. You know, I really just put my mind, you know, I put my brain to use one night. And I was like, you know what, like, let me go on social media real quick and like, let me kind of see what can happen. So I just started taking pictures, man, of like all my food. And, you know, the response we done got from social media, you know, within the past, I think like what month? Yeah, like a month now. Like it's been so crazy. Like I done gained over like 1,000 followers in like 30 days. Man, you know, we got the pineapple bang boats that's going crazy. The vanilla pudding taco dish that I'm bringing. Man, like it's been so crazy. Like we did over like 100 sales in 5 days last week. Like just off of Instagram promotion. Like no flyers, no, you know what I'm saying? Like no real word of mouth. Like this is like straight based off of Instagram, and like people just been DMing and calling. Chef Ben, like I gotta try one of these pineapple bang boats. I gotta try the vanilla pudding taco. Like it's so crazy, man. Like I literally went from not knowing anybody in Dallas to now it's to the point where I go outside and like people just stopping me out the blue now that I don't even know sometimes. Like it's crazy.
So I think this is like really important for our listeners to hear, because you're saying you started this after the COVID pandemic started, and you started it in response to that. That's correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have so many people right now who've been doing this, myself included, for a long time before this, and we're all trying to figure out how to adapt, what to do, and worry that we're going to be put out of business by this. And you saw it on the totally flip side, saying, I'm working at this Hilton, I'm getting furloughed or laid off. I don't know what to do, but I know I can cook. Let me start bringing the food to the people and try and make some money. I think that's amazing that you're, you know, I hate to say capitalizing on, but I mean, it is.
Yeah.
You're being smart about it. While so many people are shutting their doors, they're not going to open their restaurants again. You saw it as an opportunity and a need to be filled. Looking at your Instagram, you have like well over 3,000 followers. So like, how many did you have before you started this? Like you said, like you gained 1,000. So is it fair to say you had like 2,000 or so when you moved to Dallas, and you've picked up like?
I think like last month, man. Man, like I think this is around like what like 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, not, yeah. This was like early last month, man. I was only at like 2,000. Yeah, it's almost like 2,000 followers or whatever. And like I said, man, you know, it's so crazy, man. Like telling the story now, because like I'm still seeing this happen in real time, which is mind blowing. So like I literally posted a picture, man, of this pineapple bang boat, because I was at home one night and I was hungry and I didn't want no Subway, I didn't want no McDonald's, I didn't want no Jimmy John's. So I was like, man, like I'm chef, man. Let me cook what I want. So, dude, like, I literally, man, one night, literally cooked, one of those pineapple bang boats that I make. And I wake up the next day, and dude, I had over like 300 new followers, like 200 notifications, like my DM was just blowing up, man. So people were like getting in contact with me, like it's so crazy. So like, and I think, man, since last week, me and my team have generated almost over like $3,000 in sales from selling these pineapple boats and vanilla pudding tacos. And it's so crazy. Like, I haven't had one negative person say anything bad about it. Like, everybody's just been super supportive. Like, man, I can't believe this. Like, you got a pineapple bang boat. Like, I ain't never heard of this before. Like, it's crazy.
So what's in the pineapple? What's the pineapple bang boat?
Oh man, so the pineapple bang boat, man, that's the new Chef Benjamin's signature dish, man. It's the pineapple boat, man. We got the white jasmine rice in it. I do it with either steak or chicken or bourbon black peppercorn salmon, which is like a wet rub that I use to make it. And man, I just took everything I learned in culinary and just tried to incorporate it all in one dish. And I got my signature bang sauce that I learned how to make, man, throughout my culinary journey. And I was just able to, like you said, man, just capitalize on the opportunity.
So you said you and your team, so you have people working with you. When did you bring them on right away? Like when you knew you were going to do this, is this like, I need some people, or do you start just doing it by yourself? And then you're like, I need a person, I need 5 people. Like, how did that work?
Man, it was so crazy. So I'll never forget. So I was still working at Amazon. I had got like a quick little job at Amazon, a couple of weeks ago, man, just to, continue to keep some more money coming in or whatever. And this is like before the whole pineapple boat thing came into play. And I'll never forget. So I was riding, I called an Uber to work one day. So I catch an Uber ride to work, man, I'm at Amazon, whatever. And I'm like, man, like, I'm better than this. Like, I'm not no factory worker. Like this, I belong in the kitchen. So it was so crazy, man. I was working, I met this dude named Jorge who does like who's actually right here, who actually, he's like a hell of a damn photographer, man. He does like his business with the flyers, the logo designs and everything. So like, I didn't even know who he even was. So we were talking one night at work, and he's like, yeah, man, I do like flyers and like video photography and stuff. I'm like, dude, like, okay, like, I don't need that right now. So literally, man, this is when the pineapple boat dish like just went freaking viral. So I see him at work like a couple days later. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna need a flyer done. I'm gonna need some photos. I'm gonna need some video graphic designs, whatever you gotta do, bro. Like, I'm gonna pay. I don't care. So man, he's been super supportive of the whole Chef Benjamin brand. And then it was so crazy. My business partner, Darlene, she helps me out, man, with the bookends. When people placing orders, keeping track of invoices, keeping pineapples in stock, keeping chicken. Like, she helps make sure all that stuff is like covered now. That's like even like with setting up my podcast interviews and, all these other people just been hitting me up to like do podcasts and people want to do interviews and stuff, man. Like she literally like just got thrown into the mix of all this. So like her and Jorge, like literally like we went from not knowing each other to just like, all right, man, like we own to something right now. Like this pineapple boat thing is finna go crazy. Like this Chef Benjamin brand is like really finna go crazy. So man, life has been crazy, man, for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it sounds like you didn't know anything about business. Like this wasn't like years worth of planning, because so many people, before I launched, I side hustled for 5 years while I kept a full-time job. I did all that, kind of figured things out, and you just like jumped right into it, like just learning on the fly, right? But I mean, today with the internet, social media, the way we can connect, like it's a lot easier for people to be able to start business. I mean, I'm podcasting right now. This is crazy, right? Like when you think of what we've got, basically like our own radio station, our own TV station, we're producing on our own. There's no gatekeepers anymore, and you can just watch some YouTube tutorials, join some Facebook groups to talk to people about how to do this stuff. It's great. If you've got the drive, like you can go from 0 to 100 really quickly right now.
Quick. I'm talking about quick. And like, it's so crazy, man. Cause like, every time I meet somebody, you know, out here in Dallas now, and it's, you know, like people tell me like it was so crazy. Like the other night, bro, like I literally went outside of my building to, you know, go take a quick smoke for a minute. I had like 2 girls walk up to me that I didn't even know, and they were like, "Chef Ben, I just followed you on Instagram. Like I seen the pineapple boat. My friend tried it the other day." I was like, "Okay, cool." Like, it's crazy, man. Like it was literally like, man, this thing like really just happened overnight.
So how are you guys selling these things? Like, where are they selling them? Are you doing pickup locations? Do you do any things in people's homes? What's your business setup like right now?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, I pretty much run it from like a home-based business. You know, I get the chance to, you know, like we just got the LLC business license, so we're working on that. Finally got in contact with the people about, you know, finally getting that, because, you know, we're starting to generate, you know, a pretty good amount of money now, which just happened out of nowhere. So, you know, I pretty much, you know, like each pineapple is pretty much like hand carved personally. You know, every batch of, you know, the chicken, the shrimp, or whatever, you know, all that stuff is like made fresh to order. So anytime like somebody actually places an order, you know, like I tell them, like, you know, you could DM me on Instagram, because I'm always checking my Instagram. Or, you know, they can call me, and, you know, I tell them, you know, the pickup location and everything, and, you know, and we meet, and, you know, we take a picture, and we get paid, and the customer's happy.
So that's all you're doing now. You don't have like this menu with like 10 items and all this stuff. You're just focusing on that viral dish that you've got, and just capitalizing on that right now and
that's
cranking
just what
out.
happened, man. Yeah, so that's actually what we're working on. We're actually trying to get into the process now of you know, creating more menu items. Like I said, like this, all this literally, man, like just happened overnight. Like being honest. So like I'm still trying to, you know, catch up with what's going on sometimes. So, you know, the pineapple boat is doing its thing right now. You know, we're doing different versions of it. Like I said, with the salmon version, the steak version, you know, we're gonna come up with some more crazy ideas for it. Another thing that just really took off like 3 days ago, we got the vanilla pudding soft sweetbread taco. So it's a banana pudding taco. And man, when I tell you, that thing has been selling like left and right. Like I've had people buy these things like 5 at a time.
So what is that? Banana pudding literally in a taco? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Wow. Where did that come from? Is that something you were just messing around with at your house eating,
you
just
know,
because
you know what happened,
something?
Man? You know what? So this is what happened with the banana pudding tacos. I'll never forget it, man. I was actually at home one night, and I think this was back in this one I was in Vegas. So I was at home one night, and I was like, man, like I want some kind of dessert that's crazy and unheard of. So you know, banana pudding is always one of my favorite desserts, you know, to always eat. Like I always grew up in the South, you know, being from Alabama, like eating banana pudding, like that's the Southern tradition, you know. So I said, I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a twist on it. Like I want something that's like crunchy or something sweet that I could put underneath it or mix it up or whatever. Like, you know, it's like eating like a peach cobbler. You know, you got your crust on the top, and then you got your peaches and everything you feeling. So I said, you know what? Like, what if I can do this like with banana pudding? So I learned how to make. You know, I made the shell one night. You know, took like some brown sugar, and you know, I made like a wet mix and everything. And next thing I know, I learned. You know, I got the actual shell to start folding or whatever, and I put the banana pudding in it. Man, I took some vanilla wafers, mixed all that stuff up, put some whipped cream on it. Man, awesome.
There's something to be said for keeping your menu super lean. Like if you can make a good living off of 2 dishes, I mean, that's great. So many people have so many things they're trying to do, and they don't take off. And so just 2 dishes. Are you seeing any issues with supplies right now? I mean, right now, especially with meat and stuff, you know, it's hard. Like they're talking about 20 meat packing plants closed down. You go to the grocery
Mhm.
stores, you're not being able to find things. Have you run into that? And are you thinking ahead,
Um,
like if there's an issue, what if you can't get chicken the way you need or beef? Like, are you
exactly.
thinking about that right now?
Yeah, definitely, man. Me and my business partner Darlene, we went to in Dallas. They got Tom Thumb, so man, we went out there like 2 days ago to kind of stock up on supplies, and they're being real strict in some of these grocery stores about stuff like that. You're going to buy like one pack of steak at a time. You're going to buy like two packs of this, 2 packs of that. I'm like, dang, dude, like, we literally just did like 100 orders, you know what I'm saying, in almost like 5 days. So, calculating and adding food costs up, I'm like, when this first started, dude, I was literally, like, we only really originally brought like 3 or 4 pineapples at the time. Last weekend for I think that was last weekend starting Saturday. Yeah, that was like Saturday morning. Dude, I woke up Saturday morning. I had over 20 orders already pre-booked. Like, it was so crazy. Like, we literally did 20 pineapple bowl orders in one day, and that was on a Saturday. So, it literally got to the point, I had to sit down and, make a couple phone calls with people, back home, whatever. Like I even had to call my mom and tell her, I was like, Mom, look, this thing is really taking off. Like, I got to go to the store and buy pineapples by the case now. Like, I literally just brought like 4 cases of pineapples yesterday. Dude, I only got like 2 cases left. And that's like, I think like 8 come in it's like 8 pineapples come in a case. So, yeah. So,
What do you charge for a pineapple bowl?
originally, right now, man, $20 a pineapple bowl. Yeah.
Nice. Probably get a pretty good profit margin on there.
Yeah, the pretty good profit. Yeah, pretty good on the profit, man.
So do you foresee taking kind of your higher end restaurant background and getting into the in-home dinner things? A lot of personal chefs, that's what I do. Like, I go into people's homes and do like a 5 or 7 course dinner. It sounds like with your experience, you could definitely do that. Is that something you're thinking about, or do you want to kind of stay doing these things for the masses and just cranking out pineapples?
Man, I'm on a 2-way street right now, being honest. I'm stuck in the midst of riding the wave with this whole pineapple thing, because like I didn't know this was gonna pop off like how it happened. But I'm also looking at it, I really want to get into the food truck part now, because like I'm starting to see, having a product that has a demand. I want to be able to try and incorporate now more to like the food truck thing, because man, we're in 2020, man, and people are constantly always on the go, and of course with the whole pandemic going on right now, of course nobody can go to restaurants. So I'm just like, it's getting to the point now where we're getting so many orders of what we're doing right now. I'm just like, man, like if I can get a food truck, man, people would really, I can have more clients, I can have more customers that way. I can work on a bigger size kitchen than what I do now at home. I can go to different cities and different states. So I'm definitely looking at the food truck business. Hopefully, man, within the next like 2 months, to be honest. And then of course, being like doing like the in-home private dinner thing. I know that's still a big market, to definitely continue to get into. I've definitely had like a lot of people the past couple of weeks write me on Instagram about, hey, Chef Van, like I got a birthday, I want to do like a private dinner for my birthday, or excuse me, me and my husband doing like our anniversary dinner, like would you do it? So I'm trying to go down every avenue that's gonna continue to generate. Like I have to tell my business partner Darlene, like, look, you gotta handle this food truck part. You're gonna have to hire somebody. I got a private dinner I gotta do for this client. So man, like it's literally just just being a machine right now. And like I said, it's just taking advantage of the pandemic. Like I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, right now, every food truck operator I know is still in business, and their business is down from what it's been before, but they've got a business. I'm seeing so many restaurants that are closed. Some are trying to adapt to do takeout. The guys who have food trucks, I don't know any food truck that has closed down right now. They're just parking it. Most of them are breweries. Like what we're seeing here is we have all these food trucks and we have all these breweries, and they used to kind of pivot between different ones, and now they're not rotating. It's just like, if you want Pizza Llama, he's at Jugbridge Brewery. If you want authentic Mexican, they're over at Attaboy. If you want boxcar burgers, they're at Idiom. And they're just kind of making these partnerships, and a lot of them, we started doing deliveries, and they allowed us to start delivering beer and cocktails in Frederick, here where I live. So now you're seeing these, you can call it this brewery, and you can get their beer and the burgers from Boxcar delivered to your house. Or you can call Jugbridge and have their beer delivered and pizza from Pizza Llama delivered. So you're starting to see interesting things like that. But I mean, I think your dishes are made for food trucks. When you see those food trucks
yeah,
with those like
definitely.
super Instagrammable dishes that are delicious that people line up for, I mean, if you've got a couple things that you think are going to sell, I think you could take your food truck anywhere and just sell a ton of pineapples off that truck.
Exactly. And that was just something, I really just started thinking about, man. I was like, you know what, like that's always been one thing I learned about being, working in the restaurant business, my whole career. Now I'm just like, if you got a dish that's different from what everybody else around you got, the competition, people will gravitate towards it. So from what I'm being told, and like I said, I've only been in Dallas, man, for a couple months, so I don't fully 100% know, but from what I'm being told from my customers and everything, nobody in Dallas has the pineapple boat dish. So
Yeah, I've never seen them anywhere before. I've seen pictures on Instagram, but I've never seen one in person. Maybe I need to start doing some pineapple bowls here in Frederick and get on that. I don't know. I feel like I could put anything in there. Who
hey,
knows?
hey, man, like I said, man, people gravitate, man, to what's different. Like that's like I literally had to explain. Like I had one kid, he DM'd me on Instagram a couple days ago. He's like a up and coming chef, like he's trying to learn the business or whatever. And he asked me that. He was like, Chef Ben, like, how do you come up with something different and get it to sell? So I told him like I'm telling you. I was like, man, you gotta know what you learn. You gotta know what you make. So like whatever kind of dish that, like your signature dish or whatever, man, put a twist on it. You know what I'm saying? Like make it different. And like I
Yeah, I mean,
said,
like my
people
two most
gravitate.
viral dishes. Have you ever had Scrapple? Do you even know what Scrapple is?
Scrapple, Scott. No,
If
actually
you
I
don't know,
don't.
you don't know. It's like a mid-Atlantic thing. It's basically like a pate made with all kinds of pig organs. So it's like you cook down like hearts and livers and kidneys, and you cook it with like cornmeal, and you set it into a mold, and then you slice it up and like pan fry it. It's
Oh
something you see
wow.
in like Philly, Pennsylvania, Delaware. So like I take that and I put it in a lot of dishes. I make like a hot scrapple dip with like cheese and stuff on it and Old Bay and hot sauce. So like something like that nobody's doing. Like if you Google it, like I'm the one who created that dish, right? And then I do a smoked Gouda, pepper relish, pimento cheese. So instead of like cheddar,
That
I use smoked
sounds
Gouda and I use like hot peppers in there. So like I like to find those dishes that nobody else is making and then put them out there. And like those are like my two dishes that sell like crazy. They've been in cookbooks and magazines and stuff like that. And I think, if everyone could find just like one or two things that's really unique, they really could have, something special on their hands.
man, that sounds good, man. That smoked Gouda, man, that sounds good.
Yeah, like if you
Like
like pimento cheese, just like take your favorite.
yeah,
It could be your grandma's, it could be one from Garden and Gun, and just take out the cheddar and put in smoked Gouda in there. And then I like that
exactly.
hoagie spread, like the chopped hot peppers that are in vinegar that you put on like an Italian sub. Put that in there instead of the pimento. So you got this nice like heat to it. You get a little acid because there's vinegar in there, and I find it's a nice replacement for traditional pimentos.
Man, it
So,
sounds
so
good,
it's
man.
not really that different from like pimento cheese, but you just change two ingredients and it makes a completely different dish.
Man,
Yeah.
You ever come down here to Dallas, man? We're gonna have to do an exchange. You're gonna have to let me try that. Let you try that pineapple bang
I
boat.
want to. I have some chef friends down there, and there's some really great restaurants, and I'm trying to get down there at some point. I've never even been to Texas.
Man,
I
it's
want
different,
to.
man.
I want to go to
I love it.
Austin. There's a lot of places in Austin, a lot of places in Dallas. I want to come down there and check them out.
Oh, you
So
love Dallas.
Yeah,
We would love
once we start
Dallas.
traveling, it's so disappointing right now because like I'm home, not working as much. My kids aren't in school. Gas is cheap. It's like I just want to get in the car and go somewhere. Like we would never have this opportunity again. Like now I should get in my car and drive down to Texas because gas is $1.70 a gallon, and my
Yeah,
kids can do school from the internet, and I can do a lot of my work from the computer. But you're not allowed to
exactly.
travel. All the places I want to go are closed anyway. It's like, man, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, that was my whole thing, when the whole pandemic, started happening. I just had to figure out, what plan B was going to be, because I thought plan A was going to work out, until the whole virus happened, man. So, that was just my thing, my story, it's kind of similar to yours, it was just, I went from working full time, man, to, not working that much. And I was like, man, like I gotta figure something out. Like, and I just used what I knew,
So what are
you
you seeing
know?
from customers right now? Are they asking questions about safe food handling? Are they wanting to see you in a
Yeah.
mask? Are they wearing masks? I just wonder, like down there, what are you seeing on that side as far as like food safety and just keeping yourself safe?
Yeah, man. That's one thing, I'm definitely, I'm definitely learning about, when it comes down to customer satisfaction like that. So man, anytime I do have, a customer that's like, hey, I'm outside, like, can you bring it to my car? I'm like, okay. So I go out there, man, face masks, gloves, all that stuff, man. So, I don't, I have to protect my brand now at this point. So like, I don't want nobody to be like, I tried the food from him and, I got sick or, such and such. So, I got my Safe certification. I just graduated from Florida Atlantic University Executive Business College, and I got my certification in hospitality and tourism management. So I literally got certified for that. I just took a course with ServSafe for the COVID-19 protection. So they kind of it's just like the regular ServSafe certification. They just break it down, with the whole coronavirus. So just understanding safety, safety steps to take and just precautions. So
Is that still a free
anytime.
course? Is that a free course?
Yeah, actually, it is. It is. Mhm.
Yeah, I haven't taken that yet. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. I
Yeah,
think that's a
it's
real good
pretty good.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good to have it, man. Like I said, like that just always would be my biggest thing. If you have a customer that's all technical, and they just want to be like, well, where's that paperwork? Where's that paperwork? Like, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm just like, look, I got everything that you need to know. So,
Well, I think it's funny. Well, not funny, but when this thing started, there were all these memes and stuff about people like washing their hands. Like as chefs, we've always been washing your hands. Like, did you people not know how
exactly.
you're supposed to wash your hands? Like everyone's like, my
Yeah.
hands are raw from washing them. It's like, yeah, try being a chef. Like that's like every day. But I really realized
See,
that like people outside of restaurants had no idea how to wash their damn hands. It's just like,
exactly.
it's really funny.
That's what
But
I've been telling people. Like, I'm like, man, that's like basic. It's basic common sense.
yeah. But the challenge is like doing something like you do, a lot of people are doing that don't have experience. Cause I see a lot of people who are like, oh, cool. I make this good pineapple bowl. Let me just start selling this food out of my house. And they've never gone to a serve safe. They've never worked in a restaurant. And I think that's where you can have potential. I mean, you can have big issues.
Big
Um,
time. Big time.
so someone like you who is a chef and have worked in I mean, I can't imagine on the boat alone, like what kind of cleaning and sanitation regimens they have on that, knowing that
Oh,
you work there, I would 100% be comfortable getting food from you, knowing that you've gone through those motions. But a lot of people are just like, oh, let me just open this cottage bakery out of my house. It's like, what's your experience? Like, you don't have to have gone
exactly.
through ServSafe or any of that like you should have, but a lot of people haven't.
Exactly, man. And that's I actually when I first got to Dallas, I took a course with Hilton. So I got my food handler. It's one of the food handler certifications just for Texas. So, you know, I took advantage, you know, when they offered me that course. So, you know, anytime, like I say, you know, if a customer ever, you know, does, you know, have to question me about anything, I'm just like, I'm certified in Texas. Here's my ServSafe certification. Here's a certification from the WAC. Here's my hospitality management certification. I'm ServSafe. Like, I make sure every single, you know, precaution is taken, you know, especially, you know, during this time, man, because, you know, like you say, you got a lot of people now, you know, they're, you know, people get schizophrenic about stuff now, you know, it's just like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to touch this. I don't want to touch that. So I'm just like, you know, I'm certified in every area, you know, to be able, you know, to do what I get to do now. So, you know, like I said, I don't ever want to have no problem with, you know, any kind of customer. So,
Yeah. So I think I want to move on to doing some of these quick rapid fire questions if you're ready for this. We always say
oh,
kind of
definitely, man.
like one or two word answers. I mean, if you got to go deep a little bit, but I kind of like to see, you know, what everyone's favorite things are. So one of the questions we just kind of start off with is, what's your favorite thing to eat?
My favorite thing to eat, man. Oh man, favorite thing to eat.
Or
Um,
a favorite thing to eat, and it can't be
oh,
your
okay.
bowl. It can't be your pineapple bowl.
That was, man, my favorite thing to eat, man. Believe it or not, one of my favorite dishes is actually I love spaghetti, man. Like I eat spaghetti all day. Like I love spaghetti. Like there's something
Okay.
about it.
I love spaghetti. What's your favorite tool in the kitchen?
Oh, favorite tool in the kitchen. Probably be the mandolin. Like I like using the mandolin a lot for some reason. Like that's you get to just
Watch those fingers.
there you go.
Nobody wants to be going to the ER for a cut finger right now. Do you have any favorite culinary resources? It could be a website, a cookbook, someone's Instagram page. Like, what are you really into right now?
Man, as far as like resources, you know, I'm always getting in contact, you know, with a lot of chefs, you know, from different states and, you know, different countries now, man. So, you know, I do like a lot of interacting, with chefs, man, you know, from all over the place, man. You know, we all get the chance to share information. But, as far as a website, of course, ServSafe is always, just, you know, really just like Googling, man, like, just Googling just, you know, culinary information and just see what pops up. Like that's one thing I get to learn. So
Yeah, I'm always amazed at people not kind of starting there. Like people come and say, like, how do you make fried rice? It's like, have you been on Google? Like literally just like, I mean, I can point you in the right direction and say, like, I like the Serious Eats website or something, but I was doing a like an online cooking class for a bunch of moms the other day on Zoom. Hopefully they're not listening. But if you are, I appreciate it. You know, but it was just really funny that they'd say like, well, you know, I'm so bored. I make chicken at home and I don't know what to put on it. I'm like, put anything on it. Put marinara and mozzarella and make chicken parm. Like
make it look good.
put a curry sauce on it. Throw it on the grill. Like just like, but I guess maybe that's like everyone that's not a chef. You know, I was just really surprised that it seemed like they had no idea what to do for dinners. And I'm like, well, I have an hour to tell you everything I'm going to do for dinners, and point you in the right direction.
It's crazy, man.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or a meal? Like, have you ever had an amazing experience at one place that kind of stands out for you?
Oh, definitely, man. When I was in Oahu in Honolulu, Hawaii, it's a restaurant. I think it's BLT Steak Honolulu. Man, that was the best. They have a tomahawk dish, a tomahawk steak out there. Man, that is the best tomahawk steak I have ever had in my life.
How big was that thing?
I think it was like, what, 32, 36 ounces?
That's crazy. That's a chunk of meat.
It's pretty big. I took like, I'm a skinny guy, as you can tell. I took like 3 bites and I was full. I was like, you know what? I'm finna eat on that for like the next like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. And then the last question we always ask people, and it's not necessarily a quick one, but what do you want to be remembered for? Like personally, professionally? Is there anything, I mean, you're young, you're just starting your culinary career. Are you thinking about like professional legacy or just how you want to be thought of?
Definitely, man. That is one thing. On a probably like on a professional level. I want people just to always remember that. I want people to say Chef Benjamin, really took his craft serious. He was very passionate, about being in culinary or just everything that he did. He made sure he kept the standard high enough. Like I want people to always remember that. Like, he always continued to strive for greatness. Like he never let any obstacle, stop him from anything. On a professional level, but then on a personal level, man. I'm 28 now. Things are going good in my life. I'm super happy. Can't complain about nothing. Eventually, when I do get the chance to settle down, find the right woman, and have kids, I want to be able to leave something that my family was never able, to leave for me growing up. I want to leave, I want to leave like that generational wealth. I want for my kids, when they get older, I want them to take over my restaurants or, take over, whatever other business adventures, I get to indulge on in the future, So I want to be able to leave something behind, for the next generation.
Yeah, I do too. And life's hopefully long for both of us, right? And we'll get there and be able to do that. Anything else you want to leave our listeners with before we jump out of here?
Yeah, man. Everybody out there, I want y'all to follow me on Instagram at Official Chef Benjamin. Man, we're live and direct in Dallas, Texas. We got the Chef Benjamin brand going right now. You guys can, like I said, DM me on Instagram. Make sure y'all place y'all order for y'all Chef Benjamin pineapple vein boats. We got vanilla pudding tacos. Next week, we got the Hennessy and honey wings coming. We're working on getting the food trucks. I want everybody just to continue to, support the journey. Just continue to follow everything on Instagram and, all my customers and clients out there in Dallas, man, thank y'all for y'all business and support. And, I just want to continue to just, continue to grow and just see what things go in the future with the Chef Benjamin brand.
Fantastic. And we do a pretty comprehensive show notes. So I get all this typed up and I'll have links in there for everyone to make sure they know how to find you. And then you can send this out to your followers and fans. And hopefully you'll be at like 5,000 followers on Instagram in no time, right?
Hopefully, we're working on it.
To all our listeners, thank you. This has been the Chefs Without Restaurants podcast. As always, you can find us at chefswithoutrestaurants.com and .org and on all social media. Hope everyone has a great week. Bye.
All right, thank you guys.